Hey there, it's Bailey. We're going to get started talking a little bit about finding your why. Finding your why is so important because we need to feel that sense of fuel, that sense of passion, that sense of excitement, what kind of wakes us up and gets us going in the morning. So, a little bit about me. When we're going back probably almost 3 years ago, and I had hit a wall. I felt like I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was working so hard, but feeling really stressed out and uncertain of what steps to take next. I was overwhelmed, I was frustrated, and I knew that I wanted more. I knew that I wanted to live life on my own terms, but I just didn't know how to make that happen. So I started to really ask myself, what is it that I wanted? And in asking myself what I wanted, I began to unfold the style of life that I wanted to create. And like I said, living life on my own terms was most important to me. But in addition to that, I wanted to travel. I wanted to connect with amazing, like minded women. I wanted to be able to start my mornings how I felt instead of just hitting the snooze button a million times and then finally bounding out of bed, running late. Um, I wanted to have green juice. I wanted to have time with friends. I wanted to have happy hour wine just because I could on a Thursday instead of running from one job to the next. So from there, I began to structure my life in a way that made that possible for me, in a way that made it available that I could create the life that I wanted. Right? So we start, of course, we start with our vision, what we want. And once we're clear about our vision, we have to create a roadmap to get there. Now, oftentimes as ambitious women, that can be the hardest part, that roadmap, to know the exact steps that we need to take. For me, I broke everything out into step by step of how I would get exactly to the life that I live now. And in achieving that, there is a fuel that you need. And that is why is so important. That is why knowing your purpose, knowing your reason for being is so essential to moving forward in life. And I think that I had sent out the video from Simon Sinek to the group. I love Simon Sinek because I think that he shows up and is able to tell us that it's not what you're doing, it's why you're doing it. And that why, that motivating factor, brings forth such a level of authenticity that there's no question why you're doing what you're doing. There's no question as to what needs to happen next, because when you have your vision and you're fueled by your passion, by your reason for being, it's pretty simple how things start to unfold and how things start to align themselves. So for example, when you have your vision, you begin to make choices and decisions that put you in line with that vision. So let's just say that your vision was that you wanted to sail around the world. Okay, let's just go crazy. So you want to sail around the world. And if someone is asking you, hey, there's this great opportunity for a new job in Chicago, right? Is that new job in Chicago necessarily going to take you towards your goal? You have to decide. Is it, yes, you know what, I need to take that job because it's going to help me to boost my reserves of finances so I can do my sailing trip? Then awesome, go for it. If you're feeling like, no, Chicago is so far from sailing around the ocean and it's not on the menu for me, then you have to know what decision that you make to bring you forward. And if your reason for being, and if your why is to explore, and if it is to see what there is to see, if it's there to have an adventure, I think that when we're setting that vision to sail around the world, or start our own business, or even begin a family and be able to have family on our own terms, the way that we want to do it, I think that those choices and decisions are what really get us to achieving our goals. I often get asked about, Bailey, I have a vision and I kind of know what I want to do. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sort of know what I want to do. And how do I get there? And it goes back to the why, to have that fuel, to have that passion. The why is our intention, what we hope to bring to the world, how we want to show up and be awesome, how we want to share our vision with the world. And most importantly, our why is all about bringing that accountability into place. Our why lets us know that as we make those choices and decisions and we keep ourselves accountable to them, it helps us to get closer and closer and closer to our vision and where we want to be. All right. So if you're anything like me, you're busy. And therefore, you don't have an hour to sit on a webinar. So we're going to make it short, sweet, and actionable. So what I want you to do is I want you to take out a pen, paper, or just start typing on your computer, whatever works for you. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions. And I really just want you to, in between the questions, pause and write down whatever's coming up for you. All right? So we'll take a second so you can get your goods. So whether it's pen and paper, whether it's even busting out your planner and just writing it down on there, because that's where you know you're going to be looking. But we're going to work on starting to create your why right now. Because again, if you're anything like me, you're here, you're on the webinar, and you'd like to leave with having your why, or at least a little bit of insight as to your why, or at least even a little path as to how to get to the why, right? All right, so we'll get started. First question. What is your unique gift to the world? So this would be the unique strength or talent that you possess. Something that makes you successful at what you do. Your unique strength, your unique gift to the world. Just take a moment and write that down. Even if you write a big old question mark, that's fine. But we're just getting the mind percolating. I love this quote from Dr. Seuss. He says, "Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple." So that's what I want you to look for. As I ask you these next 4 questions, be mindful to just keep the answers simple. Right? It doesn't have to be complicated, it doesn't have to be long. But the first question we're asking is, what's your unique gift to the world? Sometimes, again, those questions are complicated. The answers are quite simple. And they might even be right here, right under your nose. Right? All right, second question. What life experiences have made the most impact on who you are today? So if you're anything like me, again, it's really, Bailey, I've lived an entire life, what signifies is most important? But just the first ones that pop in your mind. Top 3 life experiences that really made an impact on shaping who you are today. And what was the greatest lesson that you learned in those experiences? So think about it. Next, we're going to take a second so that we can write down that answer. The next one, what does your past, this is kind of a little bit from that second question, but the third question, what does your past tell you? So when you think about your past, when you think about those life experiences, what do they tell you? Is it a reflection on your life with your family? Is it your past as in when you were a child? Just the first things that pop to your mind. You might have a lot of questions. Throw a question mark on there. That's perfectly fine. All right, 4th question. I'm not giving you much time in between because I just want you to just go with your gut, what first comes up. All right, 4th question. What activities, this is my favorite, okay. What activities make you feel really, really alive? What makes you feel useful? What makes you feel strong? What activities make you feel alive? So write that one down. Again, first thing that pops up off your mind. All right, 5th and final question. And this one is a good one. So let's breathe into it because you're going to be like, oh, okay, Bailey, a little too heavy. But just breathe into it. Try it. All right. Final question. What do you want to be known for? What do you want to be known for? So sometimes when I ask my clients this question, they'll say to me, like, when I'm dead. If that's how you think of it, okay. Think of it that way, when you're dead. Or like when people are talking about you, when they say, oh my gosh, you have to meet Cheryl. She's blah, blah, blah. What do you want to be known for? So think about it. Write down your answer. Again, of these 5 questions, you might have answered 3 of them. That's totally fine. Anything that you have question marks around, I want you to put a question mark, put a star, circle it, whatever you got stuck on. And what I'm going to encourage you to do is bust out your calendar now. So, I'm going to show you my calendar. Here's my calendar. It's so big, it looks like I'm like ready to write down my classes in high school. But I want you to bust out your calendar. And I want you to mark down the date, July 28th. So on July 28th, I'm doing one of my Let's Talk Tuesdays. It's pretty simple. You get to call in and ask any question that you want whatsoever. So the Let's Talk Tuesday, that's going to be where we follow up on our questions from today, right? So we've got the 5 questions. And then on Tuesday, Let's Talk Tuesday, July 28th, we're going to be hopping on the phone so that we can talk about these questions. Anything that you got stumped with, anything that you got stuck on, that's what we're going to be talking about on that Tuesday. All right. Oh, most importantly, on that Tuesday, mark your calendar for 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 3 p.m. Pacific. And if you are one of my UK crew, that's midnight, girlfriends. So, but you can always listen to the recording. That's totally fine. But the Let's Talk Tuesday is a lot of fun. All right. So again, coming to that place of where you find your why. For me, circling back around, it was on that mission to find my vision. And it was on that mission to create the roadmap that would help me to get to my vision. But most importantly, my why now is all about giving to other women what I was able to give to myself. That exhale of clarity, that roadmap, that knowing that there's nothing you can't achieve. And even more than that, once you achieve it, there's so much more that you want. I love it. And that's my why. That's my reason for being, is being able to share with other women the kind of clarity that only dreams are made of. The kind of clarity that's just so delicious. So again, thank you guys so much for joining me. I was happy to keep this brief, and we will definitely be doing another webinar each and every month. So if you have special topics, anything that you really want to hear, feel free to shoot me an email too. So again, you can find everything that you need on my website, baileyfuhrman.com, and I look forward to hearing from you guys very soon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.